It requires great courage to recognize when something, be it a relationship, a job, or even a mindset, is weighing you down more than it's actually lifting you up. Letting go of things that no longer serve you is an act of self liberation and also an act of self love and an act of self respect. When we release old habits and patterns, we create space for growth and renewal. It is not failure. It is not giving up. It is not giving up on people. It is moving forward with your life. It is a necessary aspect of your spiritual growth and advancement. It is a process you must complete over and over and over again in your life in order to remain clear, in order to glean the most wisdom, in order to be refreshed, and in order to continue to expand. We have to remember that the past and anything that's happened in the past has already given us its lessons. And carrying its burdens forward in our lives only slows our journey forward. So when we're talking about manifesting things that we want to experience, we're manifesting all the time, no matter what. We're always creating something in our lives, always co-creating. But if we are hung up on those stories, if we're hung up on the people, if we're hung up on those ideas and patterns and mindsets, we have not created space for the new to show up in our lives. We've only retold the same stories, so therefore we keep experiencing the same things. Have you ever had a problem in your life that keeps revisiting you over and over again? Say it's a relationship issue pattern that you have. It's a financial pattern that you may have. It's a friendship pattern you may have. It's a pattern with those close around you and how you connect with each other. And you've gotten a little bit tired of it, a little bit sick of it. But because you are not cleansing your palate and moving forward and leaving those things behind, leaving those ideas, the mindsets, the patterns, the habits, and even sometimes the people, the connections, you keep repeating the same outcomes over and over again. By leaving behind what no longer aligns with who we are becoming, we honor both where we've been and where we are headed. Then we're free to step into the present with clarity, strength, and openness to new possibilities. We are lightened. Our burden is lightened. We can breathe easier. We can sleep easier. We can smile more. We can laugh more. We can think more clearly because we're not continuously overwriting old information on top of new information and trying to glean the new and keep the old sitting there. We're getting rid of the stagnant information, the stagnant things about ourselves and our lives, so that way we have a clean palette and we can move forward. You can think about letting go like leaving behind a worn pair of shoes on the side of the road. When you've walked in those shoes and they're completely worn out, I mean all the way to the sole, they've carried you as far as they can take you. Many of your stories, many of your connections, many of your relationships, many of your patterns, many of your habits have carried you as far as they can take you on this journey without being able to expand. But because you are ready to expand, because you are ready to blossom, because you are ready to grow and manifest the life that you choose to have at this point, as opposed to one that was default given to you by your environment, because of that, you have to get new shoes with fresh soles that can get you where you're headed and that no longer look like where you've been. And when we are willing to let go of the past and leave things behind, it shows three important things about who we are as people or who we have become. And the first thing is that it underscores the strength that we've gained on our journey. The level of courage it takes to do what is necessary to move forward is not built into everyone. Not everybody can do what needs to be done in order to move forward to the next level, to expand, to grow, to take responsibility for things that are not pretty, to be accountable for things that you don't enjoy being accountable for, to see yourself more clearly than anybody else in the world has to tell you about something going on with you. You can clearly see those things that need to be adjusted, that need to be worked through, that need to be expanded. You can clearly see the habits and patterns and behaviors that you need to let go of. The second thing is that it really shows the level of wisdom that you've gained along in your journey, because now you have the clarity for discernment. Many times we don't even know what should be left in the past and what shouldn't be. Many times on my own journey, if I can look back, there were times where if I look back now, that version of me had no idea, didn't have enough wisdom to know what needed to be left in the past and what could come forward in my life. I had no real clarity, no real discernment about separating what stays in the past and what needs to come forward. But when you are able to do this and you've built up that courage to be able to move forward, the wisdom is truly showing, because you're taking what you've learned and it's no longer just information. Now it's wisdom, because you already know this looks like this. This leads to this. This type of person will bring this type of outcome. I feel like this and I react to this type of environment or place or space. So I need to adjust. I need to do something different. And the third thing, which is so important, it shows the level of trust that you have gained over time. It shows your faith in yourself and the faith you have to walk forward in life. Many people don't understand how much trust you have to have in yourself in order to blindly walk into what is next, as opposed to holding on to what has already been. When we're ready to walk into the unknown, it shows a tremendous amount of courage and a tremendous amount of trust, because we have nothing to rely upon to say it's going to turn out like this or it's going to turn out like that, or we're going to get this experience from it. We have no idea. But in that process of letting go and gaining that ability to trust, we start to learn that it's okay to have faith in the Creator. It's okay to have faith in ourselves. It's okay to not know what's going to happen next and still be happy and still be joyful and still be expectant and excited. And it's also okay to be anxious, and it's also okay to be restless. But as long as you're still taking those steps forward, then you truly start to understand what it's like to trust the unknown, because the unknown is where everything is happening for you. In the unknown space, that's where everything is blossoming and growing and expanding, and where you're becoming your greatest self. In the area, in the confines, in the parameters of what you already know and understand about yourself, there's only so far you can go. And because this is such a uneasy feeling that we come across, many people use that opportunity to retreat. I've done it in my own life. I've watched people do it around me. And we will almost find any excuse in the book to blame for the reason why we're not willing to leave in the past a way that we've been doing things, a way that we've been seeing the world, a way that we've been operating in relationships, a way that we've been operating in the workspace, a way that we've been operating in our personal lives. Any attachment we have to a specific outcome is also something we have to let go of. Because in the unknown, we do not know what the outcomes are going to be. We can have a real good idea of what we would like to experience, but as far as the specific outcome, we don't have a say-so in that. When we're able to detach from that outcome, when we're able to let go of what we think those outcomes should be, that shows tremendous trust and tremendous faith in the process. People who create a world for us that we no longer want to inhabit are also areas in our lives where we need to leave those things in the past. If you've ever experienced a moment to where you know you've grown, you know you've expanded, you know that you are living in a completely different way, you are seeing the world in a completely different way, you have expanded your understanding when it comes to so many topics and so many things that affect you and interact with on a regular basis. And then you may find yourself in the company of someone from the past, someone that you knew you before you knew who you were. And in that process, you may see a different version of you come out to play. And I've witnessed this in my own life, in my own situations, to where I know these things about myself to be true, but when I talk to certain people, it's almost like I regress immediately. And I have to remind myself halfway through the interaction, halfway through the phone conversation, that no, you don't see that like that anymore. That's just autopilot. That's just a habit. That's just a pattern. That's just a mindset that you used to share with these people, but you don't share that mindset anymore. So when you're willing to leave those things in the past, you no longer have to keep on revisiting aspects of who you are that no longer serve you, or that no longer align with you, or that no longer resonate with you. When that different version of yourself comes out to play, that's a firm reminder of how much you need to leave certain things in the past. If you have the ability to connect with those places, those environments, those people, those things that knew you before you knew who you were, and you're able to remain as you are, then the only thing that's left to happen is those environments either going to shift and change, or either the people are going to fall away, or either they're going to meet you where you are. But retreating to the old version of you, that's something that you have to leave in the past if you want to expand and grow. And another thing is stories. Stories that might feel good to keep rehashing, but ultimately keep you stuck. That's something that I've had to work on a lot. I have a huge internal dialogue. I go to sleep every night and have huge, vivid dreams, lucid dreams and everything. I can see myself changing a story in the dream. Like there's a conscious part of me paying attention. And then when I try to change the story too much, then I wake up and I'm like, oh man, I wanted that to happen. But I was supposed to keep my hands off of it because it was a dream, right? And so I have a huge internal dialogue. And sometimes when people walk around with a huge internal dialogue and they're very inner focused and they're very introverted in the way that they approach the world, they have these stories that they're not even saying to other people, but they have going on in their heads. And I am guilty of that. Sometimes I can find myself cooking or cleaning the house and I've completely zoned out and started telling a story to myself about how this shouldn't have happened. So-and-so shouldn't have done that. I can't believe I even sat through that. I can't believe that worked out this way. And then before I know it, it's like 5 minutes have passed and I've sat there and rehashed a story in my head that I don't even care to experience anymore. But what I realize is that it was ultimately keeping me stuck. And if it is something that I know truly is going to keep impacting me negatively, I will relinquish the person, the people, or whatever it is related to those stories until I heal that, or either I get past it, or maybe I never will. I don't know. But in the meantime, I can't be stuck. Sometimes we're told that everything begins and ends with us. So if we have to keep retelling, we should stay in the same environment, same things, and it's us that needs to adjust something. If we can't figure out a way to adjust it, that means we still haven't grown enough. But sometimes, if you are in deep water and you do not know how to swim, you will drown. And that's what some environments are like. You have to know when I need to retreat from this space. I need to retreat from these stories. I need to retreat from the environments that remind me of these stories. Sometimes removing one person or one group or one friend group, one relationship out of your space can completely change your trajectory. I myself have been in relationships that have shown me patterns in the way that I connect with people. And when I decided that it was time to leave that relationship and move on with my life because it was no longer showing up in a way that was meeting the standard that would allow me to continue to grow and expand and advance in this life, many of those stories that I would tell myself just disappeared. Now, mind you, I'm well aware of them whenever I meet new people. But because I've had that time, that ability, and that space to push those things in the past and to let them go and to move forward, I can now see clearly that I was dealing with this person and they were never what I thought they should be. But I just didn't know because I was rehashing old ideas about myself. I was in old patterns. I was in old mindsets. But if I was truly in the right mindset, this thing would have never even occurred. So now when I meet new people and I see the same patterns showing up in like their behavior, something that's happening, I'm like, hey, this is where you decide, do you accept it? Do you stay in the old pattern? Do you stay in the old mindset? Or do you know this is not for you and you move forward? And sometimes that can only happen when you relinquish yourself of those people, places, or things that are connected to that past version of you. If it is supposed to be back in your life, it will show back up, but it will be new and improved. It will be expanded, and it will fit right in with your expansion in your growth. Letting go of things that no longer serve you is an act of self-respect, an act of self-liberation, and an act of self-love. It is not an act of retreat. It is not an act of failure. It is not an act of dismissal. It is a necessity for an expanded, full life where you can continue to co-create the experiences that allow you to help others, to show up for other people in the best version of you, that allow you to live the life that you choose to live while you're here, that allows you to co-create on a regular basis positive experiences, that allows you to feel the peace and beauty that's inherent in this experience, that allows you to feel full and whole every single day or as many days of the week of the year as possible. When we get ahead of these things that are latching on to us for dear life, we can clearly see a path forward. It is not necessary to drag the bags and the burdens of the past forward. Some things cannot go forward with you. And whether it's people or environments, or whether it's just your mindset and the way you think, whether it's just your habits, whether it's just your patterns, there are aspects of you, if are not checked, if are not expanded, if you're not growing through them, you will truly never see the beautiful outcomes that you are capable of experiencing in this life. Let go to move forward.